The other day, I caught myself being ungrateful, Susan.
Without
I'm
gratitude.
complaining. I'm complaining about my beautiful home. I stopped myself and I said, okay, so I get the house is messy. I'm working two jobs, but it's not this space. You need to take the time to fix the space in here. And
Yes.
are you being grateful, Amaryllis? I
Mm.
had to stop, Susan. I had to meditate and just give myself a second. And then I forgave myself. I got
And
caught
that's
up
okay.
looking at other people's apartments. This
Yeah.
one has a better view. I feel like this layout is better. I feel like I rushed into it.
You know what the best thing about that whole entire, little story statement was? That you caught yourself and that you forgave yourself, because that's the piece. We are inevitably going to get caught up in it. It is being shoved down our throats, whatever it is, like whatever in whatever part of the world or the country you live in, right? It's being shoved down your throat. So it's hard to not pay attention to it. But the perspective shift on it, right, is so critical right now. Like, take it back a notch. Don't get caught in it. Look at the broader view, make your own decisions based on who you are and what's happening inside of you, and don't get enmeshed in something that you have zero control over. So when you go back to talking about healing yourself and changing your thoughts and shifting your perspective, mindfulness right now is the most important skill that we can be working on. Where am I here? When is it now? What really matters here and now?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Authentic Conversations. I am Amaryllis.
And I'm Susan.
Thank you so much for joining us. If this is your first time, hit the like button, follow us, spread the word. We just love what we do. Hey, Susan.
Good day to you, Amaryllis. Yeah, I'm not going to give you like what time of day it is, but
All right.
it's a good day. It is a good day, except for I went for a walk this morning. I'm grandpuppy sitting, and I took the dog for a 3-mile walk, and through the streets of the little village up here and in the park. And as I was walking, I just can't help but think, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We are creating right now such a great divide between human beings, right? We have um we have a political divide, we have a financial divide, we have a religious divide, we have a color or race or ethnicity divide. Like it just seems like everything is so divisive on the outside, and it tears me on the inside, because honestly, I don't know what to believe anymore. Everything is so far, so separate. you know how do we come back together? How do we reunify? What is it going to take for us to come back together as human beings, not Democrats and Republicans, and black and white, and Christian and non-Christian? Like, that's not the important stuff. The important stuff is that we are all on our own personal journeys, and we should be supporting each other on our journeys and uplifting each other. So, I mean, I don't know. This is just something this morning that, such a beautiful morning, and there's such a sense of chaos right now.
I feel that the chaos is going to get worse, my honest opinion. But in this part, those of us that are doing this kind of work and watching YouTube or listening on a podcast and looking and feeling the energy, guys, you're not alone. We have to continue to do the work spiritually. And when you're feeling that, it's because it is a big energy that's happening right now. And we go back to the oneness, right? That we're all connected, that my healing is going to become someone else's healing, even though I know it's so hard to believe that if I heal something from my past, I'm also generically healing others at the same time. But we have to believe this. We
Yes.
have to continue to do this work and educate each other. And then take the time to just honor yourself and be kind when you go out there and protect your energy, because the energy is so crazy that all of a sudden you start feeling like I mean, the other day I caught myself being ungrateful, Susan.
Without gratitude.
I'm complaining about my beautiful home. I'm complaining
The
because I
audacity.
want to
There's
see the
people who
grass on
don't
the
have
other side.
homes. And Morales, there's people who do not have homes. The audacity of you to
Exactly.
complain about your home. It's beautiful.
But because the energy starts, you start not, and when you're, so I stopped myself and I said, okay, so I get the house is messy. I'm working 2 jobs, but it's not this space. You need to take the time to fix the space in here.
Yes.
And are you being grateful, Amaryllis? I had to stop, Susan. I had to meditate and just give myself a second. And then I forgave myself.
Of course. Of course.
And say,
because you got caught up.
yeah, I got caught up looking at other people's apartments.
Yeah.
This one has a better view. I feel like this layout is better. I feel like I rushed into it.
You know what the best thing about that whole entire, little story statement was? That you caught yourself and that you forgave yourself, because that's the piece. We are inevitably going to get caught up in it. It is being shoved down our throats, whatever it is, like whatever part of the world or the country you live in, right? It's being shoved down your throat. So it's hard to not pay attention to it. But the perspective shift on it, right, is so critical right now. Like, take it back a notch. Don't get caught in it. Take it back a notch, step back, look at the broader view, make your own decisions based on who you are and what's happening inside of you, and don't get enmeshed in something that you have zero control over. So when you go back to talking about healing yourself and changing your thoughts and shifting your perspective, mindfulness right now is the most important skill that we can be working on. Where am I here? When is it now? What really matters here and now? Am I creating a story? Am I trying to change the history? I can't do any of that. So we have to stay present. We have to stay focused. We have to focus on our healing and the healing of our families and the healing of our generational traumas, and, really just self-care and being productive. If we get caught up in all of this external chaos, we're going to get stuck, mired down, quicksand. And they'll just keep piling more quicksand on. So, be discerning about what you're listening to, be discerning, selective discerning about what it is that you choose to attach to or believe. Yeah.
Yeah. And, when you go back and look at things, like I just did a TikTok yesterday, because this whole week I've been reflecting. It's going to be a year, and you know how much I love anniversaries. I love to look back and just, with kindness and love. And even in the turmoil of me feeling not happy in my home, I was like, what's going on? I'm like looking at it and going back and saying, okay, well, what's happening? And I'm saying, okay, a year's going by, a lot has happened. A lot of energy has been moved. And in that leap of faith that you do, guys, there's going to be these ups and downs. There's going to be the discoveries. I discovered this year that I easily get comfortable. I right away want to like you get a new job and everybody's like, so what's your goal? You're going to be the supervisor, you're going to be the, general manager next, like what are you going to do, and like I just had this conversation like yesterday with a friend of mine, and I said, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
That's fine. I don't know what I want to be next. I feel
Yeah,
like
like I'm like, nah,
yeah.
I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm enjoying a job because I have to pay bills, but a job that I want to enjoy,
Yes.
that I'm not being taken advantage. I'm enjoying being at home and a new place that I'm at. And because of the turmoil, like you said, you start building these goals. And then when you don't see them in fruition, you start judging yourself and beating yourself up and going, oh, I thought that my podcast was going to explode. Well, no, just enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Gratitude for
Enjoy it.
those who show up to listen. Thank you for showing up to listen. But, it's not about the end result. It's really about the process. And you know what is even more important is the connections that you make along the way, paying attention to how you feel in certain jobs, in certain locations, around certain people that are your, social groups. Like you have to pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to how you feel when the news is blaring in the background, right? If it creates tension in your jaw and tension in your shoulders, like, so instead of listening to the news on repeat 24/7, right? Turn that off, go online, choose a story about the topic and read. You know what I mean? Or maybe read
Yes.
2 articles to compare facts. But, instead we're just like 24/7 being blasted. I mean, honestly, like, let's think about how much the media controls.
Yep.
Is there still a war in the Ukraine? I'm sorry, I can't remember the last time that topic came up. It's like, oh, no, wait, there's political stuff right now. There's racial stuff right now. They're driving our attention. So we have to bring our attention back to what's most important to us. Because if we continue to just attach to whatever it is that the media decides is most important for us to attach to at the moment, then we're missing what's happening in our own lives right now.
Right in front of us, our family, the way you interact, customer service with others. Guys, I am in the field where constantly it's more people talking at me than to me.
Yes.
I'm just a human being. I have nothing to do but just show up to my job and do parts. And some of it is politically. You know what? You chose to live in a state where your rent can go up 40 something percent. Did you do your homework? Because I didn't vote for this. And there's a shift happening, and then people are upset. And it's like, okay, but look at who you are being upset and who you are lashing out at,
Right.
who is your neighbor. Because I live here.
Yeah.
And I'm just your neighbor. I didn't do anything about this. And
I'm
we are
just doing
doing our
my
best.
job. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm doing my job and I'm doing my best.
And you should speak up for yourself. You should go and fight for your rights. You should look and see, well, how do we change this? And come into the office and say, hey, is there anything that could be done? Sometimes it could be. Because yes, if you ask, you might get something. It's just like when you call the bank of the overdraft fee and you say, is it possible that this could be taken? Half of the time, there's a huge percentage. If you're really nice, they will take that fee off.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're speaking at them like they were the ones who were like, I'm going to give you a fine for overdraft protection. It's like, well, you know what? I don't need to hit a button. And there's a lot of TikToks about this, right? Like how people are calling customer service and talking to people. Yes. And it's like people are putting their feet down and saying, you know what? No, I'm doing this job because I want to do this job. I want to answer this phone call. I want to be customer service, but you have to treat me with respect.
Honey versus vinegar. You know what I mean? Like, what are you attracting? What are you attracting? And a lot of times I mean, all the time, it has nothing to do with the person on the other end of the customer service call. They're just the point where the frustration is unleashed, right? But a lot of times it doesn't even have anything to do with that particular bill. It has to do with the other aspects of your life. It has to do with your frustrations, your passive aggressiveness, where can you take it out? Where do you feel safe enough? I feel safe enough on the other side of the phone with a stranger to let it all out. And we have to start being more aware of that.
Yeah.
Like, we have to pay attention to how we're feeling and manage our own emotions. I just did TikTok on that, right? Emotional
Yes,
regulation.
emotional. Yes, yes. Let me tell you, my goal every time I call, because I do customer service, Susan. So when I'm calling somebody, I can feel the tension in the other line when their guard is up. And I know why their guard is up, because they're not going to expect somebody like me who's going to call and say, oh, Susan, well, how are you? And they're like, well, I'm fine.
Yeah.
How can I
Oh
help
my
you?
God, here we go.
And I'm like, oh, well, if you could help me. And then I go about my process, but I say, please and thank you. If you can I speak to a supervisor? Is there anyone else who can help me? And then at the end of the day, I get what I need.
Yes.
And yesterday it was a no. And I was like, okay, it's a no. I get that. It's a no, and it's fine. But I don't have to, and the gentleman, you can hear his voice of the way that he's like, wow, this is a different conversation I'm having.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, just because what's being shoved at us is full of angst and uncertainty and half truths, right? That doesn't mean that we have to turn around and absorb that and then, take that and build our own angst, right? We can choose to be calm and centered in all aspects of our life, even when things around us are falling apart, right? We have a conscious choice to say, hey, inside of me, can I get to that place where I know that I am better than okay? Inside of me, can I get to that place where I can calmly respond to the circumstances outside of my control? And the answer is yes.
And don't forget, guys, when we think that we need that position, that we should get that raise, or that why am I being overseen? Take the step back and focus, and remember that everything that's meant for you will be there. And just when we can't see it, when you don't get that promotion, and then months later you get another job and you're like, whoa, I remember I really wanted that promotion, but then here I am, but I couldn't see this. Yes. Because it was on its way. And that's what we talk about here in Authentic Conversation. That is what you're probably searching if you found us. The fact that you know that you can manifest, but manifesting is doing the work, trusting, having that faith. When everybody say, give gratitude, this is why I stopped my horse and pony show this week. And I was like, am I really complaining? I got some nerve. Yeah. I gotta get on my knees and call and ask for forgiveness and say thank you 2,000 times, because thank you that I got the great job. Thank you that I have this amazing house, and forgive myself for looking and thinking that, and yes, I should get better. Yes, we can manifest and ask the universe for more. Absolutely. We are not saying no.
But we're not in charge or in control of the timing. The timing is not about us, but we have to be grateful for where we are now and what we have. And because where we are now and what we have is a result of all of that chaos in our lives that came before right now. So chaos precedes transformation. And transformation is on the way. Now, how much more chaotic the world can get before people, really start grassroots uprising, for truth and transparency and clarity and deeper understanding and kindness and compassion. That's really what we want. I mean, our politicians are not showing us anything about kindness or compassion, and we're starting to really get turned off by it, so chaos precedes transformation. Things are happening. Sometimes things need to totally fall apart in order to be put back together in such a way that it is sustainable. Oh, I always want to breathe.
Yeah, because you just reminded me of the heaven on earth. The more that I read up about centering ourselves and aligning and taking the time Thursday nights to take 30 minutes for myself, with your guided meditation or journaling, or doing this with each other, having these amazing conversations. Um, all of this is because we feel this energy and this shift, and we don't want it to get worse. We want it to get better. And with the love that we're spreading and reminding everyone out there, you're right, there is chaos, but you can go back to your center.
Right. Regardless of what's happening outside of you, inside of you is what you're in charge of. And that can always feel better.
Yes. Yes, guys.
So take a nice
Please.
deep inhale, Amarellas. Fill your body with breath. And on the exhale, be grateful that you have the opportunity to be here in this moment and breathe. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys for being with us. Thank you, Susan. Like always, these amazing conversations. Guys, we're going to get through this. And this is going to be our heaven on earth for ourselves or for our future, for our kids and grandchildren, our nephews and nieces, the next generation. We are doing it. We have to hang there.
Simple.
It's the media is there, but you get to choose now. You get to choose what TikTok you want to, right? It's the page for you page. It already has an algorithm. It knows your energy. Look at it. See where your energy is at and where do you need to adjust it? What's coming at you? What is Facebook feeding you? Adjust it. You don't have to unfriend people, but you can pause them. You
Yes.
can pause everything that's happening. You can choose when you wake up in the morning not to grab your phone right away. You can choose to have dinner with that significant other right in front of you and not be on your phones. Put a box.
Start searching calm, start searching meditation, start searching mindfulness. Let those be the things that pop up on your phone. Talk about what's really important and leave the rest of the garbage to manage itself.
And it will. It sure will. So join us Thursday nights. It's free. Just reach out to us. We keep it for the privacy of others, and we want to make sure that you want to be there. We are not pushy because you know what? Those that want to be there will come. They will find us. You will find the energy.
And if you can't come on Thursday night or it's not in your wheelhouse, then you just take 30 minutes on Thursday night to be with yourself. It's all fine. That's how it works.
And it's all recorded also on our podcast and YouTube page. You could listen to our meditations and you can find us. So it's available at your time, guys. It's always going to be on your terms.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Susan.
Have a fabulous day.
You too.